week, we've been following developments about a potential ice facility in Newport. Today, we brought you new evidence showing the intent by the federal government. Last night, a judge ordered the Coast Guard to return a rescue helicopter to the Newport airport, where that ice detention center might be built. New tonight, we are hearing from a fisherman who says his life was saved by that helicopter. Good evening. Thanks for joining us for Katu News at 11. I'm Deborah Knapp. Victor Park is live in the studio for us tonight. So tell us about this man's incredible experience.
Absolutely. Hey, good evening, Deb. Well, this happened back in 2004. A man was on his boat 12 miles offshore when it began to sink. He is able to tell his story, he says, all thanks to that helicopter.
It was the very first trip of shrimp season.
In 2004, Nick Edwards was in his boat loaded with shrimp about 12 miles offshore.
I had about 65,000 pounds of shrimp on board.
He says the weather overnight was rough and had plans to take the boat into Newport. But about 6 a.m., he woke up to a fisherman's worst nightmare.
I had some alarms going off on the boat, and they were high water alarms in my fish hold in my shaft alley, letting me know that the vessel needed to be pumped out.
But those efforts did not work, and Edwards put out a mayday call. The helicopter and rescue boat arrived about 50 minutes later when the boat was starting to capsize.
That rescue swimmer up in the helicopter up above was hanging out that door. He was directing us what to do. That was an insight that helped save our lives.
Well, it is that kind of story why hundreds in Newport want the helicopter back after the Coast Guard relocated it 100 miles away near Coos Bay. So much so, a nonprofit, Newport Fishermen's Wives, sued the Coast Guard and the Department of Homeland Security.
We've had this station here for 40 years. And protecting a valuable resource, which is our commercial fishing fleet.
A federal judge siding with them on Monday, ordering the Trump administration to return the helicopter to Newport. Judge Ann Aiken saying the rescue helicopter at the Newport Air Facility has a 15 to 30-minute response time, while helicopters stationed elsewhere in North Bend would take between 60 and 90 minutes, adding that the removal of the helicopter will cause substantial economic impact. DHS tells K2 in part these efforts to micromanage U.S. Coast Guard operations via lawsuit are completely intrusive, adding that the Coast Guard is always ready to respond to search and rescue needs on the Oregon coast, just as it always has been. Any suggestion otherwise is an insult to the hard, heroic work the men and women of the Coast Guard put in every day. Meanwhile, Edwards hopes to see the helicopter back in Newport.
It is the most crucial time needed to have a helicopter.
Okay, and Nick tells us over his 46-year career as a commercial fisherman, he's needed to use helicopters 4 times and rescue boats 7 times. He describes the Coast Guard as their cavalry. As for the federal judge's order, it is a temporary restraining order that is in effect for 14 days. I'll send it back to you, Deb.
Okay, Victor, thank you. And K2 is on your side tracking at least 3 developments on allegations DHS is trying to build an ice facility there. First of all, K2 obtained records showing a contractor representing ICE is getting ready to conduct an environmental assessment for a project in Newport. This was first reported by the Oregon Capital Chronicle. Second, the mayor of Newport says a federal contractor is calling coastal hotels for long-term stays for hundreds of people. Unclear what for. Third, the Coast Guard helicopter was seen at the Newport airport today, even though it's been relocated to North Bend. K2's been on your side tracking this story and all of its developments since last week. Go to K2.com for more information about our coverage and what we've uncovered up until this point.